Okay, Richard, Mr. Richard Show.
So I have a PowerPoint presentation to,
Do I need to move?
I think you might.
Fix that out of the way?
Where you wanna go? No.
Yeah.
Right there.
There you go.
That way.
Yeah, really?
Okay.
Everybody see that okay?
Where's popcorn? Where's popcorn?
So, all right, so, can everybody hear me okay?
No, could you use the microphone?
I guess I'll have to bring it over here.
I don't think we'll reach.
What's my desk? Here.
There you go. Microphone, but yeah, that way.
That's about it.
I think it was all right with everyone. No, you can't hold it. Let's melt on that. Pretty hot. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. How about that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, this is the iteration, November 1st, the state mandates that the mayor and the staff present council with the next iteration of the preliminary budget, which includes the mayor's message. So, and this is a time when I asked all the department heads that they could present a narrative that included some of the discussion about the department, what they do, any data or stats they could come up with, performance measures, and the like. And I know it was a lot to read. It's a total of about 90 pages. And what it's meant for is for council to review over the next 2 weeks and to come back to us with questions. If you have any questions tonight or additions to what you want to see in the budget, and if you have any as I go, just feel free to stop me. We have the department heads here to answer questions. Okay, so let's go. And so I'll go through the agenda pretty quick. First, you have the mayor's message, and the general fund, special revenue fund, which includes streets, the debt service fund, which is the LIDs, capital improvement fund, water fund, sewer fund, garbage fund, which is pretty much inactive, stormwater fund, equipment fund, and the agency funds and additional reports. So the first is the mayor's message. There we go. And what the city does, the mayor talks about what the city does, but actually you probably can't see it. I'm not going to read it to you. I think it would take too long for us to read this, but the mayor and I got together and put down the main functions, of course, which include providing services for the police, public safety, and the like, senior center, youth center services, maintaining parks, and the like. 2014 budget overview includes what, goals and projects for next year, like a website, things to that, speak to that. Staffing addition and changes. As you all know, we're looking for a public works director, hopefully to start by January 1st. General fund revenues versus expenditures, I'll go over that in more detail. Right now, I'm trying to see if we can come to a place where it balances out to zero. In this new iteration, I was more aggressive in our expenditures. I want to be, and what I mean by aggressive, I mean I want to account for everything I possibly could, which included, if we stayed at our insurance at this level as it is now, and also included paying out of class to certain employees, things like that. So it brought down the general fund balance a little bit overspent, but we'll try and get that so it's even, so we don't touch our fund balance. It's less than $8,000, so it's pretty close. I'm thinking we can do that. I'll go over that a little bit more shortly. And now we'll talk about the revenue narrative, which is basically, the general fund is the heartbeat of the city. And we're looking at property taxes, license and permits, intergovernmental charges for services, fines and penalties, which includes court revenue, donations, and miscellaneous. What I tried to do with general fund revenues was be really conservative. I think we're going to surpass all what I have budgeted right now. And as I get closer to the end of the year, those numbers may well go up, especially if the numbers that I see this year go up, which I do anticipate. But I wanted to really play it very conservative, just to, not a worst case scenario, but just to be, you know, moderate and keep the revenues and expenditures equal. All right, general fund department, city council is the first one up. When you read it, you'll see that I just pretty much put a vanilla description in there for you, like what you guys accomplished this year, what your goals are for next year. I don't know those, but I just thought I'd give you something to look at. And hopefully you can come back to the next meeting and give me, or between now and then, because the next workshop's going to be in 2 weeks. It's going to be the next council workshop we have. We'll have a budget one as well. I wanted to ask the finance committee if they wanted, we haven't talked about when we're going to meet next. Did you want to meet tomorrow night or next week? Right. And all I want to talk about was the budget tomorrow night. That's really pretty much what I want to go over with the three of you, if you guys are still open to that. So that's for the council pretty much, and that's what we'll talk about what's important to the council, and they'll have me, you know, work up some numbers for you if they have anything, and get feedback from you. Even, you can do that anytime. It doesn't have to be at this workshop. It can be by email, anytime you have an idea or something you want to get to Leanne or myself, so we can add it into the budget. Okay, the next one is Pacific Municipal Court. I've been working with Kelly on this, and we will have reports for you monthly as soon as we get bias going. But right now I can say with confidence that the city's courts, along with Algonquin's courts, is bringing in more revenue than it's spending on expenditures. I don't have an exact number, but I'm pretty sure it's close to somewhere in the $50,000 to $70,000 a year range. I'll have those numbers tightened up for you by the next meeting. So I've been working with her closely to understand the activity and how it's working. So yeah, go ahead and you know, take a look at that. If you have any questions about the performance measures or anything, please let us know. Okay, so next is there you go. Administrative, the city clerk / personnel manager. And right now, also working closely with Amy, knowing there's a huge backlog, as you all know, of records to get organized and straightened out, and also quite a bit of city codes to get, for lack of a better word, cleaned up and updated. And of course, she's also our personnel manager, and she's working on, she has training for 2014 to become accredited and to accomplish her goals that are listed for you. Okay, let's move on to your favorite. Okay, there you go. Finance department. Isn't that what you told me? Okay, so I have a program description in there, goals in the work plan, just to give you an idea. My goals for 2014 are to get monthly financial reports by the 10th of the month, if not sooner, to, of course, maintain budget at all times, to cut back on overtime, out of class, those kind of things, to get more efficient reports to you so you can make good decisions. Of course, getting bias working will be a big part of that. And there are other performance measures in there. You can feel free to add whatever you can think of too, if something you want to see. Staffing, we're finally fully staffed. We started the new assistant utility clerk today, and I really see that as helping us get back on track to have everything running as smoothly as it needs to. Plus, we have a staff that can help the city clerk as well, in catching up on her records. Police department. Okay. Staffing and goals. John has shared with me that it's really important to him that we have a traffic officer that he believes can really help the city generate revenue, and we'll be going over that too in open session in the next few weeks to show you the numbers. Next, community development. And I want to thank, Jim for all the reports and all the information he got, as well as Paula providing me with information on community development. I haven't really worked with them very much, so it's really been good to get this request to provide for you. The statistics there, all the activities for this year and what's coming up next year. Okay. Senior Center. Doris and I worked together. She's also provided a good report. Who they are, what's the purpose, what they offer, what we offer, and goals, and the numbers. Which is really important. The numbers are up from last year, and that's year in total, and those numbers are only through September. So people are taking advantage of the services the city offers. Youth and Family Services. Same thing. Services provided, special events, revenue generated, staffing. Joanne runs that, and I believe in the summer we have part-time staff help for her in the past. And there are some comments and concerns by people. Okay. Parks. Mr. Morgan provided some information on the park, which you can read in your packet. Our inventory and recreation activities. Okay, criminal justice and general fund equipment. I lumped them together. In this case, I'm looking at criminal justice as providing the financial backing for the car leases, or the tasers, or the bulletproof vests. I know there's others, it provides others, such as dispatch now goes for the state auditor, so the fund has changed a bit. And for the general fund, I've looked at our inventory with Auburn, and we have, I think, at least a third, if not a half of our computers are running Windows XP, which, as you know, in April will no longer be supported, so I have put a number in there to replace most of them with software and sometimes with hardware as well. The city is out of date. Some of the comments I get from staff is it takes me 30 seconds to open a file. That adds up, so I think updating that will help with efficiency. Okay. And that's the general fund. Well, that payment there. All right, special revenue fund, streets and tourism. There's a number of projects that will impact the streets and water and sewer and stormwater, so that's where you'll see some work on the streets. And this is the maintenance fund for streets. And Jim Morgan has provided quite a bit of information there. Tourism really has no activity this year, or very little. There's some money in the fund, so it might be something we're interested in looking at as a council. All right, so now we'll go. The debt service fund has one fund that's active, one LID 206, and I spoke with the vendor that collects the money for us, and it's $300,000 that we're going to receive in 2014. That was pretty simple. Call them up, find out what to collect, and there it is. That's the activity there. Okay, capital improvement fund, if you look at it, you notice there's a lot of money going through there. It has to do with the projects from water, sewer, and streets, and there's a lot of grant money coming in, millions of dollars. It's not surprising to say it's inflating our budget to look rather large for 2014, like in the $20 million range, because a lot of the projects that are coming out of the capital improvement fund. Community capital improvement, I'm doing some research on that. I don't know, is anybody here on the council around when that fund was created? Or it might have been around longer than anybody here, but I saw that there were some uses on it for, I can't remember now, but for a park project or something, but I'm wondering what the intent of that fund was, and I'm looking for the regs that created it, to see if we can find that out. There's quite a bit of funds there that aren't being touched. I'm wondering if you can be used for upgrading parts of City Hall or parts of the area. I don't know how you want to use that. But I wanna get that information for you so you can at least entertain the idea. Sewer grant, so we have sewer grant, West Valley is a project. STP in Milwaukee is another one. Valentine and local fund, everybody knows about that. Water line replacement. Yeah, okay, let's keep going. Stewart and Thornton. So there's a lot of projects projected for next year. Water fund. The inventory, just some activities for this year and next year. Jim, tell me what the AC stands for again?
Asbestos concrete.
Right. It's quite a bit.
Webstone area, all those lines are gonna be replaced with the Stewart Road and the Valentine Avenue project. They're undersized lines, 6 inches diameter, they'll go to 12-inch ductile iron, have good fire flow down there, it'll make it better for development to maximize the use of that property down there.
Well, that, and is that gonna drive some of the street projects too, because of the?
They go hand in hand.
That's what I thought. Okay. Thank you. All right, so next we have the sewer fund. And we wanna make sure that those are taken care of, because you never wanna know what can come out. So, Jim provided the pump station inventory activities for 13 and 14. And then we've all talked about rate changes based on primarily metro increases, King County Metro. Also the need to keep up with maintaining what we have and for future capital upgrades. Garbage fund has very low activity. Has ecology waste prevention. Is that a grant we get?
It is a grant, we get an ecology grant, we get a King County grant that funds, I believe, about 99% of that.
Yeah, so and it's just about $7,000 for this year, so I'm not sure what it's gonna be next year, but there's about $270,000, I believe, in that fund, or somewhere in that area. That's kind of curious. Anyway, so I'm not sure what the council wants to do with that, but it's there.
Looks like Mr. McMahon has a question.
Yes, sir.
You were on that fund balance issue about what the acceptable use, because I think you were gonna look into what.
What's there?
Yeah, what was the answer to that question?
I haven't got the answer yet.
Okay.
I'll continue to pursue it though.
Okay.
We know why it was there, is we used to do all the garbage billing pass through from us, and we weren't charging quite enough, and we were using that balance, but then we turned it over to them, so now we have very little direct use for that money. What else can we redeploy it for?
Well, it's definitely it's gonna be related to whatever, the ecology, how the ecology is impacted. I'm sure there's ways we can look into, but I'll try and track that down. It's gonna be an interesting journey as I have time to implement that. Stormwater, we have some projects going on there. You read Jim's comments on that and get back to it.
We've got some extra money coming on the storm drainage this year too, for 2 design projects. That once we do some design, they're giving us $120,000 to design 2 projects. And then once we have the project designed, we can use that to compete for money to implement the projects that were designed. It's part of the stormwater retrofit, which they're trying to go back and fix facilities that have been in place for some time.
Do we know what we're looking at?
We've got 2 projects that we've submitted. One is to look at some of our existing stormwater that drains into the Milwaukee ditch and maybe go back and retrofit some vaults for treatment purposes before it discharges into the ditch. The other project is to take the parking lot over here on Milwaukee and create a low-impact development parking lot to redo the sidewalk around City Hall, either some porous concrete, porous asphalt, paver stone. We're looking at a variety of those will be looked at and figure out what is the most economical. And then it also becomes a demonstration project because in 2016, when developers are starting to develop, they're gonna have to show why they can't use low-impact development before they can go to other methods.
I don't wanna get too off topic, but that Habitat for Humanity house, isn't that used as low-impact driveway?
They're proposing to do that as they go back and modify what's out there on the site.
Oh, they didn't do it though?
Well, it's still a vacant site.
Oh, what was the other one?
I would have Habitat for Humanity right over here on Pacific.
Oh, yes, they did use some low-impact development there. I'm thinking of the project over on Skinner
Right.
that they were proposing.
Right.
Okay.
Second Avenue porous asphalt, no, the school project.
Third Avenue Northwest is porous asphalt. That's a project that the city did as part of the Safe Routes to Schools project. Put in the sidewalk, we widened the road and went in with porous asphalt. That project seems to be working out fairly well. It's occasionally I'll drive out there when it's a downpour just to watch the rain go through the asphalt to make sure that it's still working.
It's actually going through, it's little things in life.
Well, we want to make sure that the street's not getting clogged up.
Don't we get the same effect just letting the street weather down, so it's all that alligator skin all the field?
No, because lots of times, the substructure won't allow it to go through, and then it just it makes the road crumble up even worse.
Just bait right out in front of you.
Sorry.
That's okay, no problem. Okay, the utility equipment fund, there's not a lot of funds in there, a lot of money, and in order to replace future, well, when I get to that. So in order to account for future needs, say a backhoe or whatever, we need to start allocating funds there. And I need to work with the new, whenever we get the new public works director, come up with the inventory of items out there, of equipment, the age, and put together a replacement schedule. That's something that's going to be priority in 2014. So go ahead.
So is that, is the budget proposal, does it have a start to that? Because one of the things that I was going to bring up later, but it's a great time to do it, is you talked earlier about planning out every possible expenditure, it's equipment replacement that I think really throws us off our budget versus that. I mean, never mind, some of the uncontrollable like dispatch and
Right.
offender housing and police overtime, but this is probably the most predictable and avoidable unbudgeted expense. So is that?
I have nothing in there so far. I don't know what to put in there. I have, and I can talk to both of these at the same time. For, administrative, for police, I have a better understanding. I'm still working with the chief on, I know what vehicles need to be replaced. I don't know the cost. I don't know the lease option. I'm going to work with them on that, so we do know that. You're correct. I cannot look at, a year. I can't go with a budget until I know how much we need to replace in 2014. To go in and say nothing is kind of naive. So that's why I need to put something in there, but I don't really know the placeholder yet. And the other funds that support it are pretty well off right now. So, council can look at that with me. We can make a decision on what we want to put in there as a placeholder, and then as we get into 14, start identifying the items that need to be replaced. And I think staff right now, Mr. Morgan and some of maybe can help me to come up with some number, and that's what I'm going to try and do between now and the next meeting we have in 2 weeks. But yeah, it's very important to me to know that, because, like I said, if you go in with no idea, you're going to be amending your budget as soon as something breaks down, and that's not my choice. It should never be something council goes in with as a amendment, issue, positive way of getting things you need. So yes, and I do have a schedule for you for, it's in the work on progress stage for replacement of technology and things of that nature. So I do have a handle on that, but I don't have a handle on the one in Public Works, and that's what I'm working at. And hopefully in the next week we'll get some idea, but for 2014, just to have a placeholder, then when the new Public Works director comes on, we'll let them run that.
We can probably get you scheduled by the end of the week.
Okay, that'd be great. Because I really haven't spoken with Tim very much about this, because he's been really busy on providing everything else for me, so it was kind of unfair to say, can you do this too? But yeah, we will have it for you, so we can look at it.
That's what I keep doing, can you do this?
And the good news is it doesn't impact the general fund, so, so that's, you know, it's a concern, but, yeah, we definitely need to start building that up. Let's say, for example, I don't know how the city's done in the past, and I can't even look back at the last few years and see any kind of, you know, transfer other than $3,000 from the general fund to the equipment fund. And I don't know what $3,000 buys you, you know, in 1 year of computer technology and all the rest, but
Is that where we got the software?
$100,000 when I did this one, full bid. It was the 2,000, it was only
But what I'm used to doing in other cities I work for is actually having a schedule that says, this bid is gonna last 5 years, here's what you need to put in year 1 to replace it, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. When the 5th year comes, you already have the money in the fund, you buy it, and you do that, you continually do that. And we need to establish that for both the technology side and the public works side as well as police. And that's my goal, to have that done with this budget. So, I'm pretty sure you will have it in the next iteration, you'll have schedules to go with each one of those. I know you will for mine, and Jen, and I'll work with John on getting one, and understanding the lease program. Okay, we're getting there. Agency funds, you know, I think everybody knows, pretty much what those are. We have customer deposit fund, it should be a pass-through. Actually, it hasn't worked out that way. It worked to be a benefit to the city. There was $137,000 or $139,000 sitting there that the auditors told us to transfer over because it wasn't identified from 2012 and before. Now we have $5,000 in there, and every penny that comes in is being identified.
Transfer over to where? To general fund?
Yeah, general fund, that's one place it can go. That's a state auditor mandate. The elder deposit fund, that one's in control. And the Algornic court fund is just a pass-through. So it should be, it doesn't zero out, and I'm doing research into that as well. But I believe a lot of it's just carryover from the prior year, although I have to really make sure of that. Because I know when I first came here, there was 15,000 in there, now it's down to 11, so. But otherwise, it's pretty much a pass-through. Okay, so let's. Additional report, for those who aren't a real fan of numbers, I have some reports that aren't. So I have the budget narrative. I kind of broke down Jim Morgan's narrative, and I listed a compilation of the public works related, project related to the end. You can read that. Salary and authorized FTE schedule, of course, is a work in progress, but that's the numbers we have as of now. Citywide revenue projections, over there for you, right there. General fund provides 43%, tourism 0, so that's an idea. Citywide allocation, those are the expenditures. General fund again 49%, tourism 23%. The general fund revenue is broken down, and taxes is the big part of that, almost 80%. And general fund expenditures. Law enforcement is a big one there. 59%. And then citywide payroll. That's it. Kind of ran through it, but I know that. I hope you get a little